At least 16 more balloons have flown into Poland, according to a report by the Niezależna portal this morning. The report was confirmed by the Podlasie Border Guard unit. We received information that there were balloons in the air, which is why we published the article. Shortly after 12 p.m., the Border Guard headquarters denied this information. In connection with the false information appearing in some media outlets regarding the crossing of the border zone on the night of January 17th into January 18th by objects smuggling balloons from the territory of Belarus, we strongly deny this fake news. On Sunday, no objects crossed the Polish border. Such an incident took place on the night of Friday to Saturday, which we reported accurately. The border guard and the police are monitoring the situation at the border on an ongoing basis and remain in constant direct contact with the operational command of the armed forces. Please do not spread false information. After another article, I saw that there was a denial. First of all, the denial concerned a question about the night, which I did not ask about. I asked about Sunday, about today. It was a big surprise, a lot of confusion, an attempt to clarify what information the state is confirming. This is important because the Niezależna portal published the article after confirming the information with the source. We have obtained confirmation that this situation has occurred, with the additional information that they are still in the air and are being monitored by the military. Upon recontacting the Podlasie Border Guard unit, it turned out this time that the military is responsible for the airspace, and the Border Guard cannot confirm or deny our findings. Something must have been happening in Polish airspace or right next to the Polish border. This map shows that on Saturday evening, planes were avoiding eastern Poland. Later, very unofficially, it was discovered that the balloons were indeed near the Polish border. Weather conditions may have prevented the balloons from landing in Poland, causing them to turn back at the border or move in a different direction. The balloons themselves are simply powered by the wind and wind strength. If any of these parameters changed radically, and no one was able to predict it in advance, the balloons would return to Belarus and perhaps turn back at any point just before the border. Violations of Polish airspace are a recurring problem. According to our information, over 50 balloons flew into Poland on Friday night. The police did not disclose the actual scale of the violation. The message is that 2 balloons carrying cigarettes without Polish excise stamps were discovered. The situation is being fully monitored by the Border Guard and the police. The objects that violated the airspace are smuggling balloons. The services are securing the remains of the balloons, along with illegal packages of cigarettes without excise stamps, after the approximate location was indicated by the Armed Forces Operational Command. All actions taken at the border are part of an integrated state protection system. The police and Border Guard remain in constant direct contact with the Armed Forces Operational Command. Polish Prime Minister Donald Tusk is silent on this issue. We have a 418-kilometer border with Belarus, a border that, as it turns out, is like a sieve. The Prime Minister is solely focused on attacking the President. Ministers responsible for security act as chaperones for the heads of the services who come to meet with the President. The scale of these balloons, meaning 50, indicates that these actions were coordinated, and I cannot really consider it a mechanism that was carried out by smugglers, because usually someone has to control the shipment and control the delivery. For experts, the matter is clear. Talk of smuggling balloons is propaganda. These are not balloons, they are decision markers. Russia already knows the response times. Russia knows the lines of responsibility. It is testing the psychological resilience of society, the elites, and our entire political system. Attempts to manipulate public opinion, persuading people, suggesting that, for example, these are smuggling balloons and therefore cannot be part of hybrid warfare, are either a clear sign of the incompetence of the Polish services or a deliberate attempt by the government to mislead the Polish public. Information chaos and lack of government response. This is what the Russian and Belarusian regimes want. General Dariusz Wroński has prepared an operational assessment of Russia's actions. According to him, technical reconnaissance, procedural lateral reconnaissance, that is, who makes decisions and how quickly, and testing different times of day and night for airstrikes are already behind us. The Kremlin is increasingly violating our security. The third phase, which is still ongoing, is a test of decision-making and narrative resilience, where the goal is to check whether the state will maintain a consistent message, not panic and not escalate at the opponent's request. Now Russia has entered a phase of getting us used to drones and balloons flying into our country and reducing the response of the Polish services. It is scandalous that yesterday one of the balloons landed in the center of Białystok, in a parking lot between the buildings of the regional prosecutor's office and the illegally seized Polish television, which is in liquidation. Even if it landed right in front of Donald Tusk, first of all, he would not react. Secondly, he is unable to react. And thirdly, neither Donald Tusk nor Minister Kierwiński nor the entire government in general want to react. The government has already raised the white flag on this issue. The white flag exposes Polish citizens to the threat from Russia.